A Moment of Science.
The world is always posing questions, and science is always in pursuit of answers.
A Moment of Science offers many of those answers in a timely moment of entertainment and enlightenment.
We hope you'll tune in.
For more information about A Moment of Science or to download our latest podcasts, visit us at amomentofscience.org.
Listen weekday afternoons at 5:45 on KSJE. KSJE is proud to support Aztec Sparkles, presented by the Aztec Chamber of Commerce. The Aztec Sparkles Christmas Festival will take place Friday, December 7th and Saturday, December 8th. Aztec Sparkles is supported by Aztec Ruins National Monument, Zia Fight Club, Citizens Bank, Key Mortgage, Ramsey Realty, Positively Sweet Grooming, Rubia's Fine Mexican Dining, and more. Join your friends and get in the spirit for Aztec Sparkles, the kickoff to a starlit season.
Sure, the 90-second Naturalist is all about animals and plants, but it's also about us humans. After all, what creature is more amazing? We're the most creative and destructive, intelligent and foolish, loving and hateful beings on Earth. And we've come to have a significant effect, good or bad, on everything we touch. I'm Thane Maynard. Tune into the 90-second Naturalist and find out how we're interacting with the natural world today.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30. This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. .835 KSJE, you're listening to the Scott McLean Morning Program. Good morning, everyone, from KSJE here at San Juan College, taking a look at the sunrise from our cam on our tower here at the college. It is 29 degrees outside our studios here at San Juan College at the moment. Winds are out of the east at 11 miles per hour, and the weather forecast calls for a partly sunny day today. We'll call it partly sunny rather than partly cloudy. 54 for a high, 25 tonight. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 55, and then a chance of rain or snow overnight Thursday with a low of 31, and then more chances for rain or snow on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and highs by Sunday only making it into the upper 30s. Overnight lows by Sunday back into the teens, and Monday night's low at single digits, 8 degrees, and a high of 34 on Monday. So winter weather is here for sure. I'm Scott McLean. My guest on the radio this morning, Superintendent of Schools for the Farmington School District, Dr. Eugene Schmidt, is here. Once again, Dr. Schmidt, good morning, and thank you for being here.
Morning, Scott, and thank you for hosting me on this Wednesday morning.
You bet. It's great to catch up with you and, again, get our viewers and listeners up to date on what's happening at Farmington Schools. There's a lot of things we've been talking about this morning, some partnerships that you are making in the community and in the state, and some other programs that are coming up. And I want to talk a bit about some other issues about quality and raising the bar a little bit, which I think has been one of your themes since you've arrived, and we'll talk a bit more about that as well. So, welcome.
Now, let's jump right into it.
Sure.
We'll share with some sense of pride that the school system really is trying to understand how it operates and what are the structures, the protocols, the processes, the systems. And one of the things that we have done to try and understand ourselves is submit an application for a Quality New Mexico Roadrunner. So those listeners who are watching video stream would see 4 different levels of what I would call organizational profile.
Okay.
The whole purpose of Quality New Mexico is taken from Malcolm Baldrige, who people who remember President Reagan back in the 70s. Malcolm Baldrige was his Secretary of Interior. He believed Malcolm Baldrige did, who actually is from New Mexico.
Right.
And we have visuals of Malcolm and Ronald Reagan riding horses and things, Western guys, but they believe very strongly in understanding how organizations work. And if organizations are effective, if they're efficient, if they make sense, if they do what they are supposed to do, then better things are going to happen. And so New Mexico has 4 different levels of, again, I'm going to call it organizational profile or efforts to understand. And with each level of understanding, the story becomes longer.
Right.
For example, Adobe that they would see as a level 1 on your chart is about a 5 or 6 page story about just a brief synopsis, almost an executive summary of what you look like. We actually submitted that 2 years ago when I was first hired in an effort for me to understand how Farmington as a system works.
Sure.
And then you can go through different levels, but this past year, back in probably February through May, a writing team worked with me on trying to tell what Farmington looks like, how it operates, everything from how does our transportation department, how does our food service, how does our financial aid, what is the role of the senior leadership, how does the board interact. But we're just trying to understand if there are systems to that and those systems are operating efficiently, you're going to maximize what you do.
Right.
And as part of that story, Farmington has been significantly outperforming other school districts across the state 3 years in a row. Why is that happening? Is it just by chance, or are there purposeful decisions within the system that that operate? As examples, 3 years ago, every school had its own staff handbook or student handbook, 20 different sets of rules across the district. So it makes sense to say, you know what, there ought to be some basic level of rules or expectations in all schools that are similar. And so we put together a systems approach to student and staff handbooks. And we're actually now working on one for the school board. You know, what is the purpose? How should school boards operate? If school boards change, if principals change, if teachers change, you know, there are systems beliefs that this is how good organizations operate. So the whole purpose, and a long story short, is that Quality New Mexico is attempting to help us understand. And so we just received notice just yesterday that our application, our submission for a Roadrunner recognition has been approved, that there is a belief that Farmington has systems that are pushing excellence in our continuous improvement journey. And I'll say, as a compliment to San Juan College, you folks did this some years ago.
Yes, we did. That's right.
I want to say you went for the ZIA, which is the big one.
Right.
And congratulations, because that's a big deal when a college has tried to understand its own operation. San Juan Regional Medical Center last year went through a Roadrunner application trying to understand how do they work in what level of efficiency. So really is an interest and effort to say, as an organization, does what you do make sense as a system? And are all of those parts working together closely enough to maximize your efficiency?
And when we're talking about an organization, a larger organization with maybe hundreds of employees, as Farmington Schools does, as San Juan College does, as the hospital does, I think that's where that all comes into play as well, right? When you have so many different entities and employees and divisions and departments working together, are they efficient? Are they all working in the same direction? There's not a lot of internal strife. Those types of things, I suppose, is what this is looking at.
Yes, as an example, Farmington Municipal Schools employs over 1,900 people. The budget for the educational side is $79 million. There is a building side, Farmington High, McCormick, Country Club, that is in the $70 million. So when you look at that amount of tax dollars coming in and going out through performance, I think that we should be interested in, does that work?
Right.
And are we as efficient as we can be? And so we're very pleased. This this result will give us some information as to how to get better. So we're looking to move forward with this story.
Very good. But this is a level 3 recognition.
Level 3.
For Farmington schools, so congratulations. Accreditation is something else on our list to talk about today, too, something that you were talking about or seeking for advanced accreditation. Yes. For the district.
So envision two different things. The Quality New Mexico Roadrunner that we just received recognition for is intended to understand how the organization works.
Right.
Do the systems work together in some kind of not grinding gear fashion? The Advanced Ed Accreditation that we are also about to receive is to understand what happens in the classroom, how engaged are kids in the ownership of their own learning. So two different kinds of, I'll look at them as monitoring or audits. Mm-hmm. A performance audit as to what happens in the classroom, a performance audit as to what is happening in our organization. So Advanced Ed Accreditation will be very exciting when this news is official, because it literally says that what Farmington Municipal Schools are doing is comparable to what happens educationally in the best schools in the world. And so literally you're benchmarking yourself against the best. And so we're very excited that we anticipate that Farmington will be receiving notice. And this was a process that we had 8 people from all over the country flew in and spent 4 days talking to community members, students, staff, visiting classrooms, job sites, trying to understand how does Farmington engage kids in the learning process, and reciprocally, how engaged are kids in their own learning process. And so it's going to be very exciting to get that news when that is official.
Interesting. Well, and any kind of accreditation is always a big investment in resources. Yes. And time for your staff to do this, and to have these folks flying in or coming to the community and visiting and seeing what's going on. And I assume a lot of this, too, is because of the kudos that you've received from statewide, that yes. The school district is one of the top performing districts or students in the state, and that certainly adds to what we're talking about.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that. But what should also interest our listening audience is that when your high schools are accredited, that is a helpful ticket to get into a college or university of your choice, because there's a lot of college or a lot of high schools out there that are not accredited.
Right.
And so when you have the ability to say that people who know a lot about how high schools should work and what educational products, artifacts those kids, those graduates, what they look like, that makes colleges more likely to accept your kids than those of another school that may not be accredited. And certainly I know that in the college world, every department likes to be accredited. Your nursing, your hygiene, these are places that when your graduates at San Juan College complete their course of study, that employers look with more, I'll use relish or appetite for kids who are coming from an accredited institution.
That makes sense.
So it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And when should we hear officially about this?
Within the next week or so, which is why kind of an early Christmas present to our community here.
Very good. Well, wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing that with us this morning, Dr. Schmidt. And as luck would have it, we're almost out of time, and we have one final slide to show everybody who's watching us this morning, but it's kind of a look into the future, if you will, shining up your crystal ball and letting us know what to expect from Farmington schools down the road.
Yes, I'll be really fast on these. There is a growing movement statewide to expand preschool opportunities for 3- and 4-year-olds. And so be watching during the next legislative session early in January for indications that a whole bunch of new state money will go into the funding of preschool education. So be watching for that.
Okay.
We're also looking at the possibility of expanding our vocational programs. We currently offer things like culinary arts. We have a great auto shop. We have welding programs. We've just opened up in industrial arts. We have a beginning pathway for medical fields.
Right, right.
And what we're interested in doing is growing our partnership with San Juan College. If I can get kids interested in careers in the middle school, maybe introduce a few enticing classes at the high school level for freshmen. I'm going to send them to San Juan College for their dual credit and learn more about. So be watching for expanded vocational, and then a special thank you to our graduation coaches. I know that Karen and Catherine Abeda and others have been to talk to you about the importance of business being involved in the graduation story of kids. So the graduation coaches is an exciting story that's a stay tuned for. Okay, and that is actually a program that grew out of Leadership San Juan, if I'm not mistaken, from their class this past year, that is continuing on into the schools to try to increase that graduation rate, which we hear a lot about. Great story, and we just, something like 16 or more business leaders from our community are meeting with what I will call seniors at risk of not graduating as their coaches, as their mentors to help get them through the year. So great story. The idea to remind them how important it is to stick with it, to get to that graduation stage and get that diploma, and that's what this is all about. Now, if I recall correctly, too, the word went out that there was a need for some more graduation coaches, and I think within hours they had them all filled, the open slots that they needed from the business community. So it's a nice story because we have paired a business leader with an educator, so two adults get to meet with the students in some kind of meaningful coaching fashion. Very nice. And as we talked last month here on the program, Dr. Schmidt, the changes at Rocinante High School that are going into effect over the next few months, right? Yes, a great story by Principal Deswood and his team about trying to re-envision what high school could look like. Traditionally, Rocinante has been called an alternative school. Some felt it was the school of last chance. You know, we are in the process of re-imaging, rebranding as the school of first choice. And in that process, we'll be connecting more closely with San Juan for dual credit. We'll be looking for ways to partner with the community for career apprenticeships. And so Rocinante watched that school grow in its, what I would call, rather than seat time, because traditionally there's something called the Carnegie unit. A student has to sit in a chair for 90 hours to get a credit. Okay. We wonder in our conversations as part of this redesign, why can't students demonstrate competency? If you can weld, let's get you a welding certificate. If you can speak a foreign language fluently, why do you need to sit in a class for 90 hours to get that credit? Right. And so we'll be looking to reimagine what school could look like. And I think it has implications to Farmington High and PV in the future as we first try to understand in kind of a controlled pilot of maybe 200 or 300 kids. You know, what are the implications to 3,000? So watch that school as it goes through this redesign process. Right. And all these things, Dr. Schmidt, it sounds to me like this is kind of mirroring the change of education, the changing way students are learning today than maybe how you and I learned when we were in school, or how the folks' parents learned when they were in school, those types of things. I mean, you're trying to meet all these different needs of your students who are very diverse. Yes, there's a great social educational renaissance that I think is in the frontier. We talked about how we think that early childhood education plays a part. We have a great belief that project-based learning, connecting with our community in real-world experiences. You talked about internships and apprenticeships, job shadowings. We think that that is a way to connect kids and make school relevant. You know, why am I going to school? I'm going to school because I have to. No, you're going to school because you're going to change your future. You're changing your stars. You're giving you a chance in a world that we don't know what jobs will look like. But if you can come out of high school with, you know, with confidence that you can work collaboratively in a group, that you can communicate, that you can think critically, you're going to be successful. Very good. Fascinating conversation this morning, Dr. Schmidt. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. We look forward to seeing you in January. Okay, yes. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We will skip December, but we'll see you back here in January. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much. It's Dr. Eugene Schmidt, my guest here on KSJE, and I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. It is 8:51 on KSJE. This program on KSJE is supported by Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation, providing a competent, innovative, and caring team of professionals to serve wealth management, trust administration, employee benefit plans, retirement planning, and estate settlement needs.
Find out more about Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation at 505-599-0181.